We begin at 6 with more trouble for a Bonita plastic surgeon who's already been charged with involuntary manslaughter. Prosecutors have now filed new criminal charges against him. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Derek Stahl.
And I'm Kimberly Hunt. The surgeon's court date has been pushed back 3 times. And as ABC 10 News investigative reporter Jennifer Kastner explains, the surgeon continues to see patients and he's not required to tell them he's facing charges.
Dr. Carlos Chacon, who works here at Divino Plastic Surgery Center in Bonita, was supposed to have a preliminary hearing back in March. Then it was July. Now it's been pushed back to September. Meanwhile, a third lawsuit has been filed against him for medical negligence.
New criminal charges have been filed against the embattled Bonita plastic surgeon who's already charged in a patient's death and facing multiple lawsuits. The district attorney's office confirmed this week that it added 3 new counts of treating the sick without a certificate for 3 new Jane Does who had cosmetic surgery last year. The counts are in addition to the 3 he was already facing over the death of a patient. Both he and his nurse were charged with involuntary manslaughter. Despite the slew of charges, both of them are allowed to practice medicine until at least September. That's a staggering 9 months after the first charges were filed. Because of California law, they are still not required to tell any patients.
This situation is truly terrifying.
Carmen Balber is a patient safety advocate.
It's simply unacceptable for another patient to be walking through the door of this doctor's office without being informed of the criminal charges against him.
Aside from the criminal case, there are mounting civil lawsuits. The latest filed by a patient against Dr. Chacon, who claims that she suffered permanent and disfiguring injuries, including extensive scarring. It comes after another suit was filed by this former patient, who said Dr. Chacon botched her surgery.
I've got a hole in the middle of my stomach. I've lost my belly button. This isn't what I signed up for.
And there is a third lawsuit that was brought by the family of patient Megan Espinosa, who died.
I don't know what else to say, she's not coming back.
Court records show that Dr. Chacon denies any wrongdoing in the lawsuits. But he and his nurse, Heather Lang, were criminally charged with involuntary manslaughter last December, 3 years after Espinosa's death. The medical board's accusation has been described as horrifying. According to the report, Dr. Chacon admitted that prior to surgery, there was no discussion with the patient regarding the absence of an anesthesiologist. The report alleges that the nurse sedated Espinosa, even though she reportedly didn't have adequate training to do so. About 2 hours into the procedure, Espinosa went into cardiac arrest. An AED, CPR, and various medications were used. Instead of calling 911, the report states that he called 2 anesthesiologists he worked with for advice, but he allegedly concealed from them how life-threatening her situation was. One anesthesiologist reportedly offered to come in and help, but he declined. The other anesthesiologist spoke to him twice and said to immediately call 911 and that she needed to be intubated by paramedics. But according to the report, Dr. Chacon didn't call 911 even as she started to make gurgling noises and exhibit seizure-like activity. Medics were finally called more than 3 hours after CPR and later indicated they were in disbelief it took that long to make the call. Espinosa was found to be brain dead at the hospital, where she died 5 weeks later. Dr. Chacon and Nurse Lang have pleaded not guilty. The medical board requested a court order for Dr. Chacon to cease practice pending the outcome of the criminal charges. That hearing was supposed to happen in March. Then it was pushed to this July, and then it was pushed again to September. Until then, he and the nurse can continue to practice with only some limitations, like only performing surgeries with a licensed anesthesiologist or anesthetist in the room. ABC 10 News asked the DA's office for an interview about why the court hearings keep getting pushed. Our request was denied, citing that the case is pending. Same with the medical board. California State Senator Melissa Hurtado told us there needs to be more urgency and transparency.
I think that, things need to change drastically.
This entire situation is incredibly troubling and a failure on the part of both the criminal system and the administrative system that's charged with protecting patients from harm.
Both the doctor and the nurse's attorneys told us they would not comment about the criminal case. We reached out to the attorneys for the civil cases to see if they would talk with us, but they declined. In Bonita, Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.